Ordinary. And I got to do the wash in a little bit. Couldn't do it yesterday. Everybody was there. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Well, Astra wanted me to talk to you guys about something. Hi, Joshua. Evolve or be left behind. Okay, so they wanted me to put that on as the title, and I actually listened and put it on there. Evolve or be left behind has many different meanings, so everybody watching, you're going to have different meanings for it. But if you go backwards, you will be left behind. Okay? It's kind of as simple as that. Then the other thing I had to tell you, I had to write this stuff down. I got a few downloads. Okay, your test was passed. Okay? We know that we pass our tests. Okay? But we don't necessarily pass the test on the first try. But that's the part that we're actually passing. We're actually not, they're not really worried about us passing the test, even though our lives depend upon it, right? But they're not really that worried about us passing the test. It's the part where when you don't pass the test, what do? Okay? Do you go into depression, anger, anxiety, all of the stuff you're not supposed to do? Or do you react in all of the stuff you're supposed to do, living in the solution, try again, learning a lesson, learning what not to do, what to do, okay? So there's two different ways that you can react when you fail a test. So what they're trying to get across is that we have to evolve or we're going to be left behind. Lower level, that means. Lower dimension, lower assignment, just lower everything, okay? Or you can move forward and keep passing the tests, but when you fail the test, it's how you're reacting to the failure that is really your test. So they wanted me to tell you all of that. Oh, it's awesome stuff. So that's why when I say I pass all my tests, I'm not being arrogant and I'm not trying to say that I passed them on the first time. And I'm not saying that I passed them by myself because I have a whole spirit team. So it's kind of like the movie I watched yesterday, The Age of Ultron, the Avengers movie from 2015. I rewatched that yesterday. And the point they wanted me to tell you about that movie is, together we can do it, we can win, we can pass the test, but each person has their own unique thing that they do. So one person cannot take down AI. One person cannot end this movie. One person has to have all these people helping them, and you each have to use your own unique ability. So that was the other thing they wanted me to elaborate on, is that, do you know what your own uniqueness is? Do you? Okay, I come on here every day, authentic, totally live, never edited. You know, I could have a blooper happen right live on TV, and well, I call this TV, it's YouTube. I could have a blooper happen, right? My shirt could fall down, or you know, something like that, and it's not getting edited. I don't edit anything. Now we're even putting live highlights on the shorts, and where are they coming from? automatic. I don't pick out my live highlight and put it on. So that's another thing I wanted to tell you. Just like when I do my shorts and music, I pick the cards after I channel the song. Then I throw the cards, and when you're hearing the music, you're seeing a live reading in front of you. The live highlights that are taken from my talk are put on there randomly from the computer, not from me. Okay, so everything that I do is totally live, totally authentic, and it's channeled. I'm on all dimensions at all times. Okay, now for you that know what that means, great. For you that don't know what that means, either you'll have to check out a different channel or you can dive into it. I keep telling everybody, if I say something to you that you don't understand, that's a sign to go down that rabbit hole and figure out what it means. On that note, what it means to you might be something different than what it means to me. That's why when I say I don't mind questions, but I really don't like questions, because what the hell's my opinion? You ask me, what does shape-shifting mean? And I give you my opinion, because that's all it is my opinion. You have to figure out what shape-shifting means by yourself. What does you're on all dimensions at the same time simultaneously mean? Well, I can give you the answer, but you're really supposed to figure the answer out for yourself, because your answer might be different than mine. See, and people don't understand that with questions. They don't understand that you have to find your own answers. Just like the test, right? I can't really give you the answers to the test because it's not about the answer, remember? What's it about? It's about the reaction to your failure, or your reaction to your success of it, you know? So that was all pretty deep stuff there, but it's really what's going on right now, and I hope that helps. That's what Astro wanted me to tell you today. Then there's 3 other movies that they wanted me to mention to you, and they're from Sylvester Stallone. If you watch Demolition Man, I mentioned that, okay? But they're called Escape, okay? One is Escape, one is Escape Hades, and then there's a third one. But the point is, okay, that Sylvester Stallone plays a guy that gets paid to go into prisons as an inmate undercover and find out how to escape, because they want to know the holes in their system, right? Well, I would never want to do that job, but he does it. 3 different movies called Escape. And the point that Astro wants me to make with these movies are that you are on your own assignment. You are being bait for your own assignment for the spirit world. Now, if you work for the cabal, then you're bait for the cabal. If you work for God, you're being bait for God. Okay? So it doesn't matter who you're working for, you're bait. I work for good. I work for St. Michael, for God, for the universe, for the white hats, whatever you want, what label you want to put on it, right? So who do you work for? I'm sure you work for God if you're watching me. But anyway, the point is that they wanted you to watch some movies because they wanted you to see the determination that the guy has to have, and all the bullshit, again, that we have to go through. He got beat up, he got starved, he got, you name it. And why would he want to go back in there and do another one and another one, right? Well, that's just like us. That's just like the Avengers. That's just like any of these movies. It's because good versus evil. Evil wants to win, just like AI wanted to win in the last Avengers movie that I watched. In the prison system, the prison guard, the prison owner, the builder of the prison, wants to make sure that nobody escapes his prison. So he's sending in Sylvester Stallone to go in there and find out how to escape. Well, what a bunch of shit he has to go through. Look at the Avengers, all this shit they got to go through. The last Superman movie, all the shit he has to go through. We're no different than those movies. That's why it's important, and I say a Marvel movie a day keeps the Matrix thinking away. It can be other movies too, you know, like the ones I've mentioned. We have to be putting things in our head that are helping us with our mission, not politics and debates and bullshit, okay? So I know I ranted a lot here, probably 11:23 on the clock there, but that's what Astro told me to rant on, and I have to do it. So you better evolve or be left behind, and know the test is not about failure or success, it's how we react. And not giving up. When I say I pass every test, it's because I keep going until I pass it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and randomly at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about love, I don't know. So far it hasn't been anything about love, it's been about assignments. But assignments can be about love, right? If you're waiting for your mission partner to come in, or if you have one, right? You guys are going to go through tests together. Kind of like the Incredible Hulk has a girlfriend. I don't know her name in the Avengers, right? And when he has to come back from being angry, she puts out her hand and he touches it. And he goes back into being David Banner or whoever he is when he's not the Incredible Hulk. Even sometimes, like in the movie yesterday, she had to throw him off a cliff so he would turn into the Hulk. So your mission partner is a help. Your mission partner is an asset to you. Yesterday we talked a lot about sex, but today we're talking a lot about your tests, your assignments, you being bait, you needing a partner to get you to your next level. But there are boundaries, you know. They even talked about it, the Hulk and his girlfriend there. They even talked about how he said, well, I can't really be a romantic partner to you. And she says, well, that's okay. You know, I was sterilized when I was a kid and I can't have children and I'm really not into that anyway. And it was just so cool. You know, they're such great partners. So again, be authentic, be real, and just be you. There's no other answer than to be you because you're all unique. You all have your own things about you. And together, with all of us being unique, we win in the end. Okay? But just remember all the shit we go through to get to the end. Okay, let's have a reading. Seven of Wands. That's a victory card. She's in her bubble. She's in her yoga position, sitting on a mattress that looks like just like the one I have out for the garbage to pick up. It's a yellow mattress like that. The garbage man's coming to get it. It's finally going away. Okay, and then the Two of Pentacles is under the Seven of Wands. Okay, so what I'm getting from this again is that uniqueness. You see how she has, as Steve says from Steve's Love Tarot, he says she has her ass on the front. And I never really noticed that until he said it. And then I looked at it and I'm like, wow, that's a weird card. Be your own unique self. Go into that bubble. Find out who you are and be your unique self. So that backs up the first part of the video. Let's see what the second part is. Soul contract. Once again, we've been getting that a lot lately. And that was Susan's last card. I gave her a personal reading yesterday, and it was awesome because we talked for about 2 hours, and then the last card out was a soul contract. And that's exactly it. We wrote our own soul contract. I say it every video, don't I? You're saying I wrote the Three of Swords. I wrote Kurt Cobain in pain, as Steve says with this card. Steve's Love Tarot is my #1 channel, so if I quote him all the time, it's just because I love his channel. He has helped me since 2022 like you wouldn't believe. He's an angel sent directly into my life to get me out of that card. Look at that. To get me into finishing my soul contract. Yes, that's what we're doing. We put that hurt in there. We put that broken heart in there for a reason, to get us to where we're going. Now this card just flew on the floor. Judgment. Would that surprise you? Look at on top of her. She's got victory. Her higher self is so happy. Judgment. Judgment's been called. The Hierophant is the only one that is going to be let in. The Hierophant. And what I mean by that is judgment's been called, okay? You got the Two of Cups, your soul contract, you're playing out the end of it, okay? The Hierophant is the only one that can pass judgment, okay? Meaning, once judgment is called, only the highest can come in, okay? That's where everybody's at. But if you're still sitting in your pain and you're not understanding what I'm talking about with the Seven of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, you're not unique, you're not over your heartbreak, you're still not passing your test because you're too focused on, oh, I didn't pass, instead of, this is great. What did I learn from that test? I'm moving forward. Hierophant and Judgment. That is pretty powerful, you guys. And what's after it? The most positive, best card I can pull from the deck. The Sun. And again, I'm drawn to her hands going, yes, I passed the test, right? That's how you feel. Then we're right back from the Two of Pentacles. Look at this one. The Page of Pentacles. The Pentacle now is right here. You're holding it. You got it. Let's go forward. The only thing they're warning you about is being miserly with it. See how she's clutching her purse? Well, I ain't gonna help them. Well, they fucked me over. I ain't helping them. And being in a hoarding attitude. I was telling somebody how I'm getting rid of everything for I want to bring in new energy, of course, but it's because somebody else can use it. How long does a box of hammers have to sit in a shed? 2-3 years? When somebody could be using them hammers and saving money from having to buy them hammers. I remember giving somebody all my garden stuff, and he's opening up his own garden business, right? And now I'm paying for a gardener to come do my house, when I could have kept them tools, right? Saved all that money and did the gardening myself. But do you see how that's not what it was supposed to be? It was supposed to be me doing this, letting the gardener do his job, and letting the new guy open up his own business with all them tools that were in my shed. So there's a story there of how we don't want to be miserly or in survival mode or a hoarding mode. Now, some guy that has a big acreage and a bunch of sheds and works on houses all day Well, of course, he can have all these boxes of tools. But someone like me that's going to be doing cards all day, which I love, and shorts all day with music, she needs her different tools. Okay? So we want to be the page, the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles is your warning of don't be miserly, be charitable. Give away what you can't use, keep what you can. And then I'm not going to get new stuff, but I'm going to get different stuff. Okay? So we have a big death and a rebirth. So that was the energy that I just mentioned. I want to say hi to GH, Chi-Town, Soul Sister, that are on the live that I can see right now. So we're at this death and this rebirth, and it's all because of our destiny, the Star card. And the Knight of Wands is next. So it's wanting to talk about your destiny, but it's right back. Now it looped right back to the beginning of the reading, so we can end here. Okay, this is about your creativity. This is telling you to be a Knight of Wands, which is telling me to be unique. You see how she's with her black horse. That's my black truck, and she's doing what she enjoys. She has the same clothes on, the same hair. She has her tambourine in front of her, which are my cards, right? And my music in the background. That's the end. We want to be that Knight of Swords, or a Knight of Wands. Now I said Knight of Swords because that's truth. Truth with your uniqueness. So you don't come on here just to blabble or to look at yourself or to talk to others. You come on here to be a channel for the truth. That's what I do. I come on here every day, not scripted, and I tell you what Astro wants me to tell you. I channel the universe. Last thing is the warning is the Hanged Man and the Five of Wands. So you're going to have challenges. You see all them different higher selves, and all of them are the same person, but they're going through all their different challenges, and they have to have a Hanged Man perspective, which is a new perspective on everything. So when you fall, you get back up and you say, well, why did I fall? Oh, I see why I fell. I was wearing the wrong shoes. I remember being on a bicycle once with I wear tongs or barefoot. Well, I remember being on a bicycle once and I didn't have my shoes on, and those little spiky things really hurt my feet. Then another time I was on a bike and my tongs were slipping all over the place, and these are the things that can get you into an accident, you know. So I had to figure out the right shoes to wear on a bike. Something simple as that, but that's where we go through the challenge and then we learn from it, okay? So now I can go barefoot or wear tongs on a bike because I've been through enough challenges to know how to ride a bike barefoot or with my tongs. So that's an example of you're going to go through challenge after challenge after challenge, but learn from what mistakes you made and what worked. So have a new perspective. Anytime you're getting negative or putting yourself down, snap out of that. Because everything you do is for another reason. It's all just click, 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 click. So, new perspective, Hanged Man. We're going to go ahead and end there because we're just repeating ourselves. And evolve, or what? Be left behind, lower level, different dimension, not your highest timeline. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.